ultimate football fan is now here. All the biggest fan channels in one place.
Next night stand.
100% Chelsea.
Arsenal Fan TV.
All about the fans.
Why is he on the fucking pitch? What for what?
Exclusive content only here.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to
The UFF Daily Football Show.
The #1 source for everything going on in the football world, daily.
UFF. Do what you have to do.
Hello and welcome to FanPark Live, England versus Nigeria. I'm Terry Flewers, joined by Ranty today in the house. How's it going, mate?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Mate, I'm buzzing. The World Cup is a few weeks away. I've not really touched on the World Cup for a few weeks now, but I'm getting excited. I absolutely love it. All the nations come together. There's all that national pride going on for everybody involved. Enjoyable game so far today as well.
Yeah. I've been impressed by England. I think they played well, especially they've used the width a lot. Ashley Young's bombing down the left flank a lot. Seeing Trippier getting a lot of the ball. I guess that's a testament to how they've set up today. I think Sterling's been good. He's been good, but the problem with Sterling always, and I know he's done well this season in terms of goal scoring stats, is just his end product needs work. I'm a defender of Sterling. I think he's a brilliant player, but I just need him to work on his finishing.
Yeah, but in terms of his movement today, he's got into the right spaces.
Yeah.
Just a couple of shots, crosses maybe delayed slightly that have allowed Nigeria to defend them well. But I think England, I think you're right. Very encouraging stuff. The fullbacks have been brilliant. The formation seems to be working well today. Nobody get carried away. This does not mean England are going to go and win the World Cup in any way, shape or form, but we do want your phone calls. Want to know what you think of that first half display. 0203 606 0315. I believe we have a call already coming through that's going to be put through to us right now, and we'll also do some of your live comments in a moment as well. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hey up, mate. Yeah, my name's Mark.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, good, mate. How are you guys?
Yeah, not too bad.
Very well. What's your thoughts on the first half between England and Nigeria?
I thought we was good in patches. I thought Sterling and Lingard and Ali, I think they're a very good three. I think they work well behind Kane. I didn't like the fact that Kane kept coming deep sometimes, but then again, Sterling behind Kane, I thought that was perfect. I mean, he scores a lot of tap-ins for City, doesn't he, Sterling? And there's a chance he got into position at the edge of the box. He was blasting them over. They want these usual tap-ins. But he's making them runs beyond Kane, which I like. I think people are picking him out. So I think he's working well with Kane. I think if he was a finisher, I think he'd get the most goals in the tournament, if I'm being honest.
No, I agree with you. And I definitely agree with you, Mark. I think it's a good point that you make out there. Kane, he does tend to drop deep when he wants to get involved in games. He's very renowned for doing that at Spurs as well. But I think what you rightfully picked up on is that when he does drop deep, it allows the likes of Sterling especially and the likes of Lingard and Ali to kind of play ahead of him. So I think that's the mindset behind it. I don't think it's being done accidentally. I think there is an intent behind it. So I think we'll see a lot of that at the World Cup, hopefully.
Yeah. Do you know what I think as well with Harry Kane? The one thing I love about him as a player is that I remember listening, I can't remember which pundit it was, put this idea into my head, and I've seen it ever since. When he dropped deeps, it's a nightmare for defenders because with most strikers, they drop deep, you can let them go. Yeah, with Harry Kane, though, you've got two choices. You let him go and have space. Yeah. He can turn from 30 yards and bang it in the top corner. Yeah. Or you go with him as a centre-back. And you can end up in a situation whereby there's in a big hole for Sterling, for Ali, for Lingard to run into. So I think he serves a great purpose coming deep at times, but he also picks up his goal today. Mate, really do appreciate your call. Thank you very, very much, Mark. Thank you. Got another call coming through now as well. It's nice. It's not that often you get positive calls about England, to be fair. It's nice to start the day off with one. Hello and welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi.
Hello, mate. How
you doing, guys?
I'm good, mate. What's your name?
Kieran.
Hello, Kieran.
Hi, Kieran.
What's your thoughts on that first half?
I think, as an England fan, it's difficult to tell whether we were good or not, because obviously, as it's just Nigeria, and they're not the greatest of challenges we can have coming up to the World Cup.
Well,
But from what I've
it's
seen,
not just Nigeria. It's the Nigeria, man. We're like, see the kit. Obviously, there's a big buzz around us. But yeah, please continue.
I think from what I've seen with the team, we've gelled together well, which is looking promising coming up to the World Cup. If we can keep gelling well, going towards it and get into the World Cup as a team, gelling well against Belgium in our group, I think we can come out top of our group and get a good draw in the round of 16.
Good, Kieran. Really appreciate your call, mate. Speak to you at full time.
Cheers.
Excellent. We've got a video for you from Adam. Adam from the Fifth Official, normally in the studio with myself. He's at Wembley today watching the game. Is that ready to be played? We're going to play that for you now, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about that first half display.
Half-time whistle just gone. He's not happy. Nil. He's not happy. England winning 2-0. Atmosphere is amazing. That's the first thing to say. Basically, England are doing really well. They're doing really well. Yes, they are. The link-up play between Lingard, Ali, Sterling, top class. Kane, until his goal, he was a bit off the boil. But yeah, it's an amazing game. It's amazing atmosphere. Let's see what the second half has to bring. But we want to see more goals though. The finishing hasn't been up to scratch. And we're going to wait and see.
Thank you very much there, Adam. Sounds like he's having a good time. It's always a nice day at Wembley, especially if the team you're there to support is winning. I want to touch on what Kieran said in that previous call. I know he meant it in a respectful way towards England in terms of Nigeria is a team, especially at Wembley in a friendly, you would expect this England side to beat. Better players, generally speaking, across all positions. But the issue normally has been with England that they haven't gelled at tournaments. They may have had the more superior players, but they never seem to find a system that works. What's your thoughts on what Gareth Southgate is doing at England? Do you think there seems to be more of a team spirit, more of an identity now about England?
I think personally, given the fact that now Gareth Southgate is now manager of England, I think he's not having to deal with that many egos, so I think that makes his job a bit easier, knowing that especially going into a tournament like the World Cup, he doesn't have to worry too much about people expecting him to go there and win the World Cup. It's given him an opportunity to now experiment with the three at the back, which I think works well for England to an extent. I don't think the personnel is one that I agree with, but again, that's down to Gareth Southgate himself, not me. I'm not the head coach, but yeah, I've been impressed with him thus far. And I think, you know, going back to that comment that our caller had, I don't think it was disrespectful, but I think at this time period going into the World Cup, you need to have a mindset of where you're at as a team and how you want to approach games going into the World Cup. And I think that's what England have done today, given their 2-0 lead. I think the way they've set up well, they've pressed well, they've been very, very assertive going forward. I think Kane's been impressive. I think Sterling's movement has been incredible. I think Lingard's been good as well, along with Dele Alli. I think Dyer's protected the back three well as well, and I think Trippier and Young are seeing a lot of the ball. So I think it's working. His ideas seem to be
Ashley Young being in an England squad as a fullback. I mean, you never would have seen that coming.
Me personally, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I guess that's a testament in some weird regard to how well Ashley Young's been doing at Manchester United. I know he's benched Luke Shaw at United, and Jose Mourinho's put a lot of trust in him this season. So for me, he's done well. Would I start him? Not personally. I'd rather have somebody who's left-footed on that side, just because of the width.
Absolutely. Got another call coming through here from a Huddersfield fan, I believe. Abs is going to put that through. Then I'm going to do some of your live comments. Welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Jaden.
Hello, Jaden. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. What's your thoughts on that first half display from England and Nigeria?
Well, England have played very well in the first half. Cahill getting that good goal, and so Kane, and Kane as well. Lingard has been playing really well, and Sterling has as well. I like Sterling in behind Kane. I like that link-up play as well.
Yeah, I thought that's worked very, very well. And you know what? There's almost room there as well to look at the likes of Vardy coming into that and Rashford as substitutes, where you don't need to change your system too much, because I think they could all. I don't think Vardy and Rashford are as good on the ball as Raheem Sterling, but in terms of running in behind and finishing and pace that they both have, and that's something England have on that bench with abundance. There's two. You've got Danny Welbeck as an option as well. Should you need to bring him in? So I think you're absolutely right. In terms of the competition today, Nigeria, have you been impressed by them at all? So there's been a bit of a buzz around Nigeria because their kit is tremendous. It's going to be one of those famous kits that's remembered forever at the World Cups. When you look at them as an opponent today, where do you think their threats might come in the second half?
I don't know really. I don't really know. Iwobi's played all right, I guess. It's just average.
Iwobi, look, most Arsenal fans actually say that Iwobi is average, but I think you always. Thank you very much for your call, mate. Really appreciate it. I think it's important though internationally to respect your opponents. And an example would be Iceland at a tournament. Yeah. Everyone said it was embarrassing, but do you know something that's gone a little bit unnoticed during the World Cup qualifying? They topped their group. Yeah. And I know John Bodvarsson, one of their players, fairly well. I've had a lot of conversations with him. And the one thing that I'm encouraged about with England this time around is something he said to me 2 years ago. I was like, how come you guys are doing so well? And he was like, we don't have the most talented players. We know that. He said, but the majority of our senior team now have grown up playing together from under 15s, 18s, 21s, and now as an international group. We all play for different clubs, rival clubs. Some of us play abroad. But when we're together, we're a bit of a family. And when you've listened to Lingard and Raheem Sterling and Harry Kane speak, a lot of these players play together under 18s, 21s, and now senior, which didn't really happen with previous England squads in my lifetime. They all know Gareth Southgate from when they were kids, when they were coming through the academy. And there appears to be more of a cohesion between these people. So one, we need to respect their opponents, whether it's Tunisia, whether it's Nigeria today, and go out there and give it our all and not just expect to roll them over, which I think is important. But equally, I see more of a team atmosphere this time round with England than ever before. We're not as talented. We don't have as good of players. We don't even have as famous or as gifted a manager in many respects. But we've seen many teams go to World Cups and do better than expected with much lesser teams. Whether it be Senegal having a great World Cup or you've had South Korea in the past do very, very well. And I hope that England just go out there and have a few games like this, play some expansive football, go for it. You know, if we lose 2-0 but we attacked and played good football, I think England fans would forgive that. Yeah, I definitely agree. And just going again back to your point about Nigeria, I think it's also important to point out that there's a few key players not starting in this game as well. Ndidi, who protects the defence quite well. He's been class for Leicester. Iheanacho as well, who plays for Leicester. He usually starts for Nigeria. So there are a few players that should be playing in this game that I'm sure will start in the World Cup that are not playing now. The keeper's quite young and he was at fault for the second goal for Harry Kane, despite it being a very, very good strike. But he's a young goalkeeper, but he's not the first keeper, first choice goalkeeper for Nigeria. Absolutely. But I mean, going back to your point about the team cohesion that Southgate brings, knowing the players from a young age, I think that helps, and I think that's why we're seeing the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek being given a chance to go to the World Cup now. You're seeing the likes of Marcus Rashford, you know, the young ones, obviously Dele Alli and Harry Kane have obviously cemented their place at Tottenham as first team players. But it helps knowing where your players have come from, knowing how they've grown up, how they've developed their game, because it gives you that sense of security, knowing that you can kind of speak to them on a level, get the best out of them on a level. We saw, as we spoke about earlier, Raheem Sterling being defended by Southgate. I think that's really important. I think being able to manage your players properly, especially going into... Look, the Raheem Sterling witch hunt is wrong. But I actually think it could end up being good for England's national football team. I get the sense that if the players put their arms around him, the manager clearly already has done. The FA, who normally are flaky on these things, have backed him. Raheem Sterling might come up like he's played so well so far today. Maybe he'll go, right, I'm going to do this now because the England fans are not happy with the witch hunt. The FA and the management and the team are not happy with it. It's literally just the media. So no one likes the media, so let's go and get Raheem Sterling, go out there, smash it, because not only then would you be sticking a thumb in the eye of the mainstream media, which I personally hate and everybody else seems to have contempt for. I think most of the England fans don't like the media, because England fans themselves will be attacked by the media over the course of this summer because of the actions of a minority, if that makes sense, and it always happens. So same things there. But look, we're going to be back at full time. Go and enjoy the second half. Remember to download the Ultimate Football Fan application. All the information for that is in the description below. Go check it out. Me and Ranty will be back in about 45 minutes time. Take care. God bless. See you in a bit.